In general, there are 4 ways that a page or post can be edited. Since I'm going to apply a text module here, then I'm going to edit the text module setting on the front end. So I'm going to go into the text module and just type any text. For example, say heading text. There's a heading 1. One way to edit the CSS is to go into the design section, and you can edit the color, the alignment, the font style, the font weight. You can change the font, you can change the font size, you can change the letter spacing and the line height. Example of a sans font would be Times New Roman. So I'm going to use Times New Roman. I'm going to make the font weight bold. So as you can see, each letter here has a point at the end. So Times New Roman is an example of a sans font. Sans serif would not have that point. The alignment, I'm going to make it center. And then I'm going to change the color to red. I'm actually going to change it to a darker red, but not black. The line height, I'm going to change to 1.2 em. Font, I'm going to change to 40. Okay, so that is one way to change the CSS. I'm also going to apply, for example, a background color here. Okay. Then I'm going to remove the spacing. Let's make this 100%. And then I'm going to change the border. I'm going to apply a border radius. Let's just make it 20, 15. Let's remove the spacing from the section as a whole so this heading text moves up. So as you can see, it moved up. Okay, so that is one way to edit the CSS in WordPress. Another way to edit the CSS. Now here I'm going to add an image. I'm just going to add any image I'll use, which I made using Photoshop. Make this section. Now another way is that you need to be careful changing the CSS here, because this will change the CSS on every page, not just this page, if you're not careful. So let's add a class to this. Let's call it example class. Actually, no, let's make it an ID, because we're only going to apply the CSS to this element. And then I'm going to go into example class. Let's make the width 100%. As you can see, it changed. It changed the CSS. Now I can do padding. The padding to 0 and the margin to 0. Well, that is one way to change the CSS. Let's make this, so that's the row. Let's actually go into section. Let's make it example section. Let's do example section. I'm going to set the margin and padding to 0. As you can see, it moved to the top. And the width, I want to set to 100%. And the max width, I'm going to set to 100% as well. To the row, let's make the max width 100% as well. Okay, now all three modules, the section, row, and text, take up this entire space. Let's actually go here. Example image. Example image. 100%. Max width. 100%. Let's make, I wonder if this will change it. The reason why this doesn't take up the whole space is because the image is too small. Set a background color to beige. Excuse me, beige. So that is another way to edit the CSS on a WordPress page or post. A third way is by using a plugin like CSS Hero. So I'm going to exit the Visual Builder. Then I'm going to use CSS Hero. So I'm going to go up here to background color. I'm going to make it a color closer to the wall. This is now a very 2000s looking website. Another thing I'm going to do is check how it looks on mobile. Interesting. So now it's mobile. It does have a responsive design. Let's see if I can actually I can change the sizing on this. Let's do 100 viewer width. That doesn't actually change the size. I would need to actually change the size of the image. That is another way to change the CSS on a WordPress page or post. The fourth way is similar, and it's to use the appearance menu in the dashboard. You can also go to the Divi or other theme builder menu and apply custom CSS. To do that, I would go back to the build on front end, the get settings, and the URL. That's interesting. So when it's making a get request, it has those properties in the URL, which can taking some time to load. You can also go into the dashboard Go to edit page, go to appearance, customize, additional CSS. Here you can apply custom CSS. But be careful here because this you really need to know CSS, or else it'll be really difficult to figure out errors or what is conflicting with which. So that's why we added a custom class earlier. So I want to say example class. I think that's what it is. We set the border radius to 20 pixels. Torrent, which would override it. Now let's go back to that page. Let's view it on the front end using the Divi builder. Example image. Let's go back to appearance, customize, example. Another thing you can do is add another class by using a comma there. Example image. Now a border radius was applied to this section here. So those are the 4 ways CSS can be applied. I hope you liked the video or found it informative. Remember to like the video, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel.